Today. So here on Japan today. So yeah, here we go, as we've got a bit of work to do now. As Japan has a long history, as we arrived as a species about 35,000 BC. The position of Japan relative to Asian mainland had played a significant role in the country's development. So yeah. The Maltesers are amazing. Although the archipelago is situated near the mainland, there is a considerable amount of open sea which separates two land masses. Throughout most of Japan's history, it's been close to the outside world, refusing to open its borders to foreign people. As a Sakoku policy, is where its literal translation meaning locked country, enacted in 1633 by the Tokugawa shogunate, prevented foreigners from entering Japan or on penalty of death. Hello.
Connie gave us this pattern pill the other night.
Yeah.
When she put it up, she left it out for quite a number of weeks. It's a bit dirty, and she decided she didn't really want it anymore. She's giving it to us. But it's filthy.
Yeah. And needs pumping up.
It probably needs putting up so it's easy to clean. Well, sugar. Knocked your socks off.
No, socks decided to go for a ride.
So I'm just going to borrow this, but
Thank you. The same policy also prevented the Japanese from leaving Japan. And yeah, the first historical documentation mentioned Japan today to around around the 5th century. As Japanese myth of the Emperor Jimmu was the first emperor of the imperial line that is still in place today. So yeah, the imperial family of Japan is also pretty ancient now. Archaeological evidence shows that a number of research place their imperial rules, starting later around the 7th century, 37th century AD, during the Kofun period. Are you okay, Siri?
I'm just peachy, or should I say apple-ish.
Tell me a joke, Siri.
I'm not sure I understand.
Can you tell me a joke?
I got my best friend a fridge for her birthday. I can't wait to see her face light up when she opens it.
I got my best friend the fridge for her birthday. I can't wait to see her face light up when she opens it. How far away is Japan?
It looks like Tokyo, Japan is about 5,886 miles away as the crow flies.
Okay. No, it's Tokyo is about 5,886 miles from where I am at the moment. How old is Japan?
The answer I found is 71 years.
I was locking in ideas on probably the best to kind of stop now. Goodbye, Siri.
Until next time.
The following Asuka regime during the mid-8th century is noted for the more centralized Japan, in which Chinese culture significantly influenced Japanese traditions. As Nara was the first centralized capital of the nation established in the late 8th century, the layout of the capital city was influenced by Chang'an, the capital of China at the time. The Nara period was the last of the political power held by the emperor, and the following Heian period was characterized by affluent aristocracy with kind of like eccentric social customs. Eccentric being like mildly like someone who goes beyond like the social norms a little bit, but not completely full on crazy. And moving the capital from Nara to Kyoto. Castle of Kyoto, city of Kyoto, became the residence of Japan's emperor until the late 19th century. And towards the end of the Heian period, aristocracy lost their power, and the Kamakura period marked the beginning of the military rule. Those regional warlords became powerful and often rose to become shogun, as a position that sometimes wielded more power than the emperor, and during this period the caste system developed with the shogun at the top, as the shogun controlled large areas of land and would divide it up and delegate responsibility to a daimyo, or who was a regional, kind of like a regional warlord. As a daimyo ruled an army of samurai who protected the land and its people, and feudal Japan did not allow for social mobility, and marrying outside one's own caste was prohibited. As a succession of powerful shogun, after a succession of powerful shogun, Japan fell into a state of near anarchy, and provinces declared war upon each other during the 15th century and during 1600. And in 1600, during the Azuchi Momoyama period, Tokugawa Ieyasu moved to reunify the country and successfully established the Tokugawa shogunate. Under the Tokugawa shogunate, the feudal system was re-established, and during this region, Tokugawa established rule from Edo, a location of present-day Tokyo. And under the Tokugawa shogunate, the Edo period was a time of stability for the Japanese people. Japan decided to chart itself, but there was little to no development compared to other nations and the rest of the world during the same period. And from 1852 to 1854, Commodore Matthew Perry negotiated a trade agreement between Japan and the United States, and the government of Tokyo was forced to agree to the demands of the United States, as they were intimidated by the technologically advanced and heavily armed fleet of steam frigates under the command of Commodore Perry, as the ships in Perry Sheet were now known in Japan as black ships, and have come to symbolize the threats imposed by Western technology. In 1867, the Tokugawa shogunate collapsed and gave way to Meiji Restoration, as the imperial capital was moved from Kyoto to Tokyo, and renamed from Edo to Tokyo, eastern capital. And Japan then directed their efforts towards industrialization and modernization. During World War I, the United States and Japan fought on the same side, although relations were not favourable between the two of them, due to policy disagreements over China and competition from power in the Pacific. But after World War I, Japan's economy began to decline and hit a low point during the Showa recession in 1926, and the negative impacts on the recession combined with domestic political turmoil, like assimilation attempts on the emperor, like coup d'etat attempts, and terrorist violence ultimately contributed to the increased militarism in Japan of the late 20s and 30s. As Japanese imperialist policy aimed to dominate China to acquire its vast military reserve and natural resources. And in the early 30s there were many small-scale military agreements in so-called incidents between two sides, like in China. And this culminated to a full-scale war in 1937. As yes, it is a Pacific front here, and it did start like two whole years before it did in Europe. And the Western powers were reluctant to provide the support to the Chinese, as they thought would eventually lose the war. And when the United States entered the war in December 1941 after a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor by the Allied forces, making the first time in nation history it's been occupied by a foreign power. And after the occupation ended in 1951, Japan's government shifted from imperial to military rule to a parliamentary democracy. And today, despite suffering massive losses during World War II and possessing very little natural resources, Japan has become an economic and technological powerhouse. So yeah, that's history done for you. And moving on to language. The Japanese language is a unique language consistent of ideograms and phonograms, as the Japanese is the national language of Japan, spoken by more than 124 million people, which is in the 6th largest speaking population in the world, other than Japan. Other than Japan, some states in the Republic of Palau speak Japanese as a common tongue, as many people in parts of Brazil still use Japanese due to migration from Japan. As the phonology of Japan have a strong personality of open syllable language that ends with a vowel, and also many dialects, including the common language, has a mora. I hate my phone. I need a new one. Accent pitch is pitch accent. Japanese consists of word order of subject modifier predicate. Modifier is located in front of modifi. Moreover, in order to show the case of nouns is not alter the word order and ending. To add function may represent a grammatical function particle behind. Therefore, the language typology. Japanese is a language of the SOV type. In terms of word order and in terms of form is classified as agglutinative language. And so moving on to the history of the language, not much is recorded about the Japanese language's prehistory or origin. In the 3rd century, some Chinese history books record a few Japanese words, but the description was not enough to understand well the Japanese language of the day. Before Chinese characters were imported, Japanese language seemed to not have a script. This is said about during the Kofun period from the 3rd to the 4th century. Chinese characters hereinafter kanji were started to flow in along with the vocabulary and phonology, and in Han period from 794 to 1185, Japanese invented their own Arabic scripts called hiragana and katakana, and started to develop Japanese original literacy. During the mid samurai period from 1185 to 1600, Japanese language evolved into closer to the modern Japanese, and experienced the first appearance of European loanwords, and the standard dialects moved from Kyoto region to the Tokyo region in the early 17th century and to the mid 19th century, and following the end of 1853 of Japan's self-imposed isolation, the flow of loanwords from Western languages increased, as English loanwords in particular have become frequent and Japanese words in English roots have proliferated. Yeah. As the Chinese writing system was first introduced in Japan in the 5th century, it's said that it started of Japanese literacy, as Japanese emperors at the time invited famous Chinese scholars to Japan in order to learn the Chinese writing system from them. And after the introduction of the Chinese characters kanji, Japanese started to use kanji with Japanese terms represented by characters' use of their meanings and not their sound. During the 7th century, the Chinese sounding phoneme principle was started to be used to write pure Japanese poetry and prose. However, some Japanese words were still written and characters for their meaning and not their original Chinese sound. And when the history of Japanese as a written language begins, as a distinctive mixed style of writing can be found in the oldest history book of Japan, Kojiki, which was written in the 7th century, and then Japanese people started to use some kanji to write Japanese in a syllabic script and a sound in order to transcribe the words of meaning Japanese speech syllable by syllable. The style of writing is called manyogana, whereas hiragana was the first original syllabic script of Japan, was invented from Magyugana, and instead of using kanji to represent the pronunciation of Japanese, they developed the hiragana script, originated from the cursive calligraphic style of the Chinese, as hiragana was not accepted by everyone when it was first developed, as the elite or high-ranked person still preferred to use only kanji, and historically the regular script. Kaisho, form of kanji, was used by men, while the cursive script, Shosho, was more used by women. As cursive hiragana script became popular among women, who were not generally allowed access to the same level of education as men, and thus hiragana was first widely used among women in the palace for the writing of personal communication and literature, and this is the reason why hiragana, sometimes called women's writing. For example, the tale of Genji and other early novels by female authors used only hiragana, and later male authors started to use hiragana for literature, and then used for unofficial writing such as personal letters, while kanji was used for more official documents. In contemporary Japanese language, hiragana is used for words without kanji representation, for words no longer written in kanji, and also following kanji, the show conjugational endings because of where verbs or adjectives in Japanese language are conjugated. Kanji alone cannot fully convey Japanese tense and mood, as kanji cannot be subject to variation when written without losing its meaning, and for this reason hiragana is suffixed to the end of kanji to show verb and adjective conjugations. And hiragana can also be written in a superscript called hiragana, and a button beside a kanji to show a proper pronunciation of the kanji. As katana was developed, it's really the second syllabic script like kana. As katakana was developed in the 9th century during the early Heian period by Buddhist monks who originated from shorthand of kanji. Unlike hiragana, only men were using katakana for official documents and documents imported from China. And the contemporary Japanese katakana is primarily used for writing foreign words, plant and animal names, and for emphasis. And contemporary Japanese language is written as a mix of three main systems: kanji and the two syllabic scripts, hiragana and katakana. And Latin script is also sometimes used, mostly in acronyms and other abbreviations, as Arabic numerals are also common in the kanji numerals for counting the numbers. As Japanese students begin to learn kanji from the first year, kind of like in elementary school, a guideline created by the Japanese Ministry of Education. List of Kyoku kanji, education kanji, specifies that 1006 kanji characters as a child is to learn by the end of 6th grade. As children continue to study another 1130 kanji characters in junior high, covering the total 2136 show kanji, no common use kanji and all. So yeah, that was language for you. Moving on to legends, as I'm doing a few urban legends today. As urban legends are usually fighting and creepy stories which feature modern settings, elements of popular culture, or dark, often disturbing aspects. And these stories, much like their cousins from like folklore and all, and fairy tales, often have a lesson to teach us, and oftentimes because we just like to be scared. So yeah, here are a few from Japan. As the first is known as the Red Room Curse, as this story centres on the idea that a curse pops up and will appear on a random victim's computer, as the pop-up is just an image of a door and a recorded voice will ask, "Do you like the Red Room?" And the pop-up will continue to appear until the voice can finish its question, even if it's closed. And as we see, the pop-up will later be found dead, with the walls painted red with their own blood. As this story began with a flash animation short about a boy who was cursed and died after seeing the pop-up. In real life, the pop-up is set to appear on a user's computer at the end of the video, and the video's status as an urban legend was cemented when it was discovered that an 11-year-old murderer who committed the Sasebo slayings and the killing of a 12-year-old classmate has had a video as a bookmark on her computer. So friends try to contact me on Snapchat and all. Then there's Kochisake Onna, now known as a slit mouth woman. As Kochisake Onna is kind of disturbing, to say the least. A seemingly ordinary woman wearing... Hello Siri. Siri's having one of those moments where he's spazzing out. Are you okay, Siri?
If you're okay, I'm okay.
Okay, it's okay. What are you up to, Siri?
I'm not sure I understand.
Are you doing anything, Siri?
Let's
I love you, Siri.
I know.
Goodbye, Siri.
Until next time.
I hate that ending. Until next time. I'll start Kuchisake Onna again, as it's kind of like a disturbing one of a seemingly ordinary woman wearing surgical mask as food to protect others from catching her cold. And she appears before those walking alone at night, usually in children, and asks, "Am I beautiful?" And if you answer no, you are killed with a pair of scissors that Kuchisake Onna carries. And if you answer yes, she takes off her mask to reveal her grotesque grin. Her mouth is split from ear to ear. "How about now?" and she will ask, and she will kill you if you say no and cut you an identical smile if you say yes. Rumor has it is if you answer will confuse Kuchisake Onna long enough for you to escape. Like, you ravage and Mesosa. According to the myth, Kuchisake Onna was a woman disfigured by her husband when he found out she was cheating, and he viciously cut her mouth. He asked her, "He will think you are beautiful now," and it's a popular urban legend in Japan, and has appeared in dozens of movies, manga, and anime, manga. Next is a curse of a colonel. As the dreaded curse of a colonel was thought to be the reason the Hanshin Tigers couldn't win a championship, not since the 1985 Japan Series win. As the story goes, to celebrate the win, unwitting fans jumped into the Dotonbori Canal and pushed a life-size statue of Colonel Sanders, the face of KFC in with him. As the colonel was meant to represent the then baseman Randy Bass, an American who played for the Tigers at the time. The Tigers were forced to be doomed never to win another series until the colonel could be rescued from the river. But in truth, the statue was recovered by divers in 2009. But Tigers are still yet to win another Japan series. I really shouldn't be laughing at it. And then there's Akamanto, or the Red Cape. As a fascinating tale of Akamanto says that there's a handsome spirit of a man wearing a mask waits in the stalls of a ladies' washroom, usually the last stall in the line. Once seated, a spectre's voice will ask, "Do you want red paper or blue?" And if you say red, you'll suffer a violent death, and if you answer blue, you are suffocated until you turn blue and die. Then still it on Snapchat, and deviating from the answer by, say, ask for ordinary white paper, will only have ghostly hands appear out of nowhere, sometimes right out of the toilet you're sitting on, and will drag you down to hell. And the way to avoid any of it is, over the face, is to use anything he offers. Then next is Tomino's Hell. As Tomino's Hell was a poem by Sajo Yasuo, and according to internet legend, the poem curses of a reader will misfortune and death if read aloud. There are a few possible ways to interpret this disturbing symbolism in the poem, which David Bowles describes in the footnotes of his English translation of the Japanese original. It was either Tomino has murdered his parents and is now suffering in the Buddhist idea of the seven circles of hell. And the author Saijo Yasuo is symbolically describing the feelings of his survivor's guilt after the passing of his sister or father. So yeah. And last but not least is Teke Teke, As Take was a schoolgirl who tripped on some train track as a critical moment when she was cut in half by the oncoming train. Now she's a vengeful spirit who crawls around on her hands and elbows, dragging around her torso along the ground, making a Take sound, which makes her name as she wanders the night, slicing her victims in half with a scythe to make her own disfigurement, and she can also hide in places like cars and windows, where half the body would typically be seen. And once her victims come close enough, she surprises them and reveals herself, and you can only really escape if you can outrun her, but she's said to be very, very, very fast and all, so yeah. And that is country for today. And yeah, I'll be on Korea tomorrow, and I'll be, just heads up, I will be doing both North and South. Sorry, Democratic Republic, People's Republic of Korea and Republic of Korea in one video, as I do hope that he will become like one country in my lifetime and all, for the benefit of everyone. So yeah, bye for now and have a nice day.